Good to see you back again. Resuming progression on the playlist. Back online, driver. Leave. No playlist unfinished, driver. Welcome back. At the next event of our Luxury Chronicles playlist, the Archivist relates his stop at Mercedes, and you'll get to drive yet another extremely powerful car. Looks like luxury often goes together with mean performance in Germany.
my last day in Germany led me to Mercedes for yet another thrilling ride. My ultimate appointment in this country was set with the breathtaking Mercedes AMG 1. The one and only, as Mercedes would say. Like all the German machines I had the pleasure to admire over the course of my trip, the Mercedes AMG 1 was indubitably on the powerful side. That's an understatement, as the One was built from the dream of bringing Formula One technology to the road. A dream that was meant to come true. Everything in this car screams Formula One. Powertrain, materials, interior. And I believe world champion Lewis Hamilton himself helped Mercedes in the development of this car. To the driver who'll get behind the wheel of this machine in the festival, you're probably not ready. German trip was ending wonderfully with this Mercedes AMG 1. I was content and ready to move on to the last part of my trip.
The next Luxury Chronicles episode is not ready yet, but don't go too far. It'll be available soon. Two bulls face each other proudly in the Maui sun, symbolizing the intense speed clash that awaits you. What do you think? This was generated by a cousin of mine. I'm not great with poetry, but talking to you about playlists, now that I can do. Motorfest takes on the colors of Redbull, the most energetic brand in motorsport. They've been investing in iconic racing disciplines for decades, teaming up with most successful manufacturers. But they also sponsor more than 500 extraordinary athletes who represent the brand in their respective sports. We can't introduce them all to you, but our playlist host, Becky Evans, went to meet some of them in her show, Motorfest, the podcast. They're all specialists in the various motorsports you're about to enjoy. Meet us at our brand new playground at the summit of Maui. A world of molten lava and burning rubber. This one comes from my software. I couldn't help myself.
I will admit, I spoke with Silver beforehand, and the only ones that beat her of late are her chief and the mystery driver.
Hi boys and girls, Becky Evans here. I'm joining Motorfest for this new playlist, and I didn't come alone. Redbull sets up at the summit of Maui on a playground dedicated to every possible racing discipline. We love it. In this playlist, you get to become a pro at every discipline and find out which discipline is the best. Can a motocross bike beat a rally car? Can an AGP beat an aeroplane? It's up to you to take on the craziest challenges and answer the questions that everyone's asking. And I won't be the only one hosting this playlist. Motorsports stars will join us and give you all of their tips and stories. It's shaping up nicely. Let's go. Let's begin the Redbull experience.
The clash of disciplines starts now. To get the full experience, check out Sounds of Redbull, the new track list in the music player. Another activity awaits. We start this Redbull playlist with a rallycross race. Let's see how the Ford Puma Hybrid will fare against other rally monsters, like the Audi Quattro, the Citroën C3, or the Focus RS. But before that, we take a look at Motorfest, the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to Motorfest, the podcast. Here I get real with Redbull athletes to tell us about the intensity of motorsports and the love they feel for it. And let's talk about Rallycross, which is the theme of the first playlist event. For the occasion, I asked two of the most exciting Rallycross names about their ideal car. Here are the Hanson brothers.
Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, Timmy, if you were to describe your ultimate dream machine, what would it be?
Something like, what they have in Pikes Peak, a lot of power, a lot of suspension travel, being able to jump really far.
Kevin, over to you.
Like really long suspension travel, so you can jump like crazy. Rebel livery, red.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
The car you're about to drive meets a lot of Kevin and Timmy's criteria. I hope you guys will love it. Oh, and to listen to the full podcast, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Just go to the Sounds of Redbull tracklist of your music player. Enjoy the race. Welcome to the Redbull Playground, boys and girls. Becky Evans here, improvising as the voice of the playlist. Ray Waller, the official voice of the festival, is bedridden, but don't worry, he'll be back soon. I'll be commentating on what you see, and don't blink because things are going to happen fast. Drivers are entering a tunnel for the first time. Now they have to adapt their driving to the tarmac. It's a cross-terrain race, just like this playlist, mixing all the disciplines of racing.
just wanted to say that. In my last podcast, Timmy Hansen explained how essential it is to gather enough speed, keep the nose up, and land flat for a successful jump. Woohoo! Looks like this one listened to the podcast. We have dirt legends on the grid today. I see the Audi S1 EKS RX Quattro, the 2016 World Champion, has started in first position. But the big surprise, undoubtedly the Ford Puma Hybrid Rally 1, the brand's first electrified rally car. Last round, boys and girls. For our first speed clash.
It's time for a first clash of disciplines. 2 disciplines, 2 paths. Choose your discipline and prove that it can set the fastest time. Becky, your turn.
Right, boys and girls, I'm super excited because we get to see the first clash of motorsports. We're staying in the dirt, and you know the first opponent because we already saw it in action, the Puma. But for the second, you'll have to listen to my last interview.
Hi, I'm Robbie Madison. I'm freestyle motocross rider. I've done a lot of cool stunts.
As a champion athlete and stunt performer,
The Ford Puma. Now you know better than anyone what this machine is capable of.
witnessing a real speed clash. The first one to the finish is the winner. Right now, the bike and the car are on the same course, but to keep things fair, they'll diverge onto separate routes, designed to let each vehicle work to its full potential. The course is about to split. Straight ahead for the car, right for the motorcycle. The KTM definitely has the advantage of airtime. She's much better at jumping. But the Puma can deal with asphalt and is more reliable on straights. Both have their strong points. Which one will exploit theirs best? No matter the vehicle, dirt requires reflexes, but above all, instinct. Making the right choices quickly is the key to surviving the race. Motocross. We've got our answer, boys and girls.
The dirt chapter is finished. We're moving on to asphalt vehicles. We start quietly, and I use big quotation marks, with a little warm-up ride on a racing bike.
Podcast studio.
Pay attention, boys and girls. This event can seem simple, but it's crucial for our driver. A time attack to test whether the driver can handle the next clash of disciplines. Glass Bend is undoubtedly a playground landmark, and no lie, it's definitely not safe. The RC16 is a little marvel. We had to wait until 2017 to see the RB KTM factory join the competition. The brand has won everything in other competitions, so it was time to see them take on moto racing. Moto test passed. Now our driver can either play it safe and keep this vehicle, or roll the dice with something unknown. It's an agonizing decision.
Clash of disciplines in sight. When a racing bike meets a racing car, it's a real battle for the asphalt.
For the Ferrari meets Red Bull.
racing cars has just put an end to the discussion.
Radio Flash. Hear all the insights on the world of racing on Sounds of Redbull, the official channel of motorsport.
Hey, boys and girls.
Drivers are focused. The start is imminent. Let's go! A full AGP race. Using boosts in the right place at the right time will be decisive. Second lap. It's raining. It's going to be a completely different race from now on. AGP Museum is on this circuit. 4 generations, RB 13, 14, 18 and 20. 7 years of evolution from Renault to Honda engines. Between them, these 4 account for more than 70 podiums. Ultimate lap. Drivers, if you've got any extra nitro, now's the time to use it. It's an RB that crossed the line first, boys and girls, but not the one we were expecting, maybe? Drivers are focused. The start is imminent. decisive. Second lap. It's raining. It's going to be a completely different race from now on. AGP Museum is on this circuit. 4 generations, RB 13, 14, 18 and 20. 7 years of evolution from Renault to Honda engines. Between them, these 4 account for more than 70 podiums. Ultimate lap. Drivers, if you've got any extra nitro, now's the time to use it. Superb victory. Proof that RB AGP just keeps getting better and better.
You've just discovered the RB20. You can keep it for what follows, but you can also opt for a vehicle that's a little less earthbound. The choice is yours.
The podcast, guys. As you've seen, the playground is a motorsport. This is is the second time that Red Bull is loaning you the RB20. You'll start to make a Dutchman jealous.
Unsurprisingly, the AGP has the advantage on startup, but once the plane is airborne, it's a different story. If you're a Red Bull addict, you'll probably know that this isn't the first time an AGP and a plane have been put on the same grid. Last time, it was in a straight line in a drag race. Here the plane will have to make very tight turns if it wants to keep up with the AGP, which is much more accustomed to doing so. That's really exciting! We enter the second lap. I'm sure you're familiar with the RB20 on the track today, certainly more so than its aerial rival. Stressed for 10G and capable of reaching 975 meters per minute, its size makes it the perfect aerobatic aircraft. Let's hope our pilot will give us a taste. Oh boy, they're neck and neck. This succession of turns is tricky. When it comes to speed, the AGPs play in a different division.
One more clash to close this Red Bull playlist. This one is big. Confronting two disciplines is not enough. So Motorfest and Red Bull are offering you the choice of three. Which is the best? Becky asked our Red Bull athletes what they think.
In your honest opinion, between Rally, AGP, the Ford Fiesta replaced another Ford at short notice. The Puma missed weight.
Who will cross the line first in this head-to-head race? Answer in, about a few minutes. The rally car has already changed its course to reach the dirt. Each vehicle has its own special route designed to match its strengths. The AGP stands out for its speed and braking quality, and of course it sticks to asphalt and is unbeatable in corners. So to make things fair, it will be racing the longest route. The bike's route, on the other hand, is shorter but ultra-technical, forcing the rider to swing through the curves without losing speed. Switching between dirt and asphalt, that's its strength. In addition to its high acceleration, its all-terrain capability means it can compete with faster rivals. Time for the family photo. The AGP seems to be ahead for the moment, but don't forget that its path is the longest. Everything can still change. To the end. We're about to find out who's going to win the ultimate racetrack, the Speed War. It's a two-wheel kingdom. Victory for the bike. race? Answer in, about a few minutes. The rally car has already changed its course to reach the dirt. Each vehicle has its own special route designed to match its strengths. The AGP stands out for its speed and braking quality, and of course it sticks to asphalt and is unbeatable in corners. So to make things fair, it will be racing the longest route. The bike's route, on the other hand, is shorter but ultra-technical, forcing the rider to swing through the curves without losing speed. Switching between dirt and asphalt. That's its strength. In addition to its high acceleration, its all-terrain capability means it can compete with faster rivals. Family photo. The AGP seems to be ahead for the moment, but don't forget that its path is the longest. Everything can still change. To win the ultimate racetrack, the Speed War. Dirt proving stronger than asphalt, the rally car set the fastest time.
Make sure to get your vehicle reward, driver. End of Speed Clash, the first milestone in a promising relationship between Redbull and Motorfest. I'm sure this is just the beginning. You've discovered a multitude of racing vehicles in this playlist, all of them Motorsports gems. But we had to choose just one for the reward. We thought maybe you wouldn't mind having a Redbull branded Ferrari in your garage. The Ferrari F48 GT3 FE Corse is just for you. A playlist is ready to try. Let's go try it. A new playlist just opened up. Have you ever watched a Redbull video of a motocross bike rider doing a backflip off a bridge and said to yourself, I've got to do that someday? Well, today you can. We're leaving motorsports behind to embrace Redbull's extreme side. We're on our way to the container. Becky Evans, host of Motorfest, the podcast on the sounds of Redbull Radio, can't wait to introduce you to the playlist. Redbull supplies all the vehicles. Rally raid, drift, off-road motorcycles, really off-road motorcycles, speedboats, you name it. I warn you, this is the kind of playlist that goes anywhere you can imagine. On land, sea, air, asphalt, everywhere.
I got my name 'cause my cat, Silver. Well, I mean my call sign. Never mind. Racer Chase, I got you covered. Bring it on. secret on our chief. What? No secrets? Just your name? Oh.
I have to say, I love the paint job.
Cinnamon's my cat, Cinnamon's my car. You betcha you can call me Cinnamon too. Let's go. I'm feeling extra cinnamony today.
like it never happened.
I've got all day. Cinnamon, don't get tired. How many of y'all gonna try us before you realize you ain't got what it takes?
It's like it never happened.
Told you our chief Speedbolt's name, but I can tell you more about her. No spy work needed.
locked. You're up.
You making fun of our cars? Bold move. Prepare to lose. My Fiat will be your doom. Doom, I say. I told you I don't like to lose. Not comfortable telling you anything, but you won, and I promised, so... What do you want to know about the chief?
This rival has one of the best-looking cars.
Hey there, you sure you picked the right guy to race? Really? All right. Man, if you get me, you better get me good, because I do quit, all right?
It's like it never happened.
If we're gonna try again, I'll try again with you, alright? Restart, reset, revive, I'm out of words. I'm just getting warmed up. You're not looking too hot. She's got a sweet car, and she knows how to drive it. That's right, talking about our chief, so listen up.
A Ford GT and an optimistic...